Hey, Coach Link here for Missing Link Fitness LLC. Thank you for joining me. Want to go into this subject about the keto diet. Keto diet, could it increase the risk of heart disease? All right, so I'm doing some research there. So I know I get this question a lot, and there's a lot of people that's like using the keto diet and stuff. And of course, this is information and things you get online. A lot of people go by these diets or what they see online. But anyway, this is one I'm looking at. It come up on a health blog. That's the name of the site. So I always recommend, no matter what information, this is just for informational and educational purposes, that I'll tell you to review further. Okay, ask your doctor about it. Go online, do some search for further, proof or anything that you need to back up. So, like I said, I'll throw out some subject, out there, some topic and stuff, and try to just give you some information, some educational purposes on there, make you kind of question things or whatever, anyway, to do the research. So again, this is from a health blog. A keto type of diet could increase the risk of heart disease. All right. So this is about a popular thing, of course, the ketogenic diet, involving the consumption of very low quantities of carbohydrates and high quantities of fats, has become popular. A study has, however, indicated that a keto-like diet could be associated with higher levels of bad cholesterol and doubles the increase in risk of cardiovascular events, which include blocked arteries that require stenting, angina, strokes, and heart disease. Angina could be angina. Anyway, just in case I'm pronouncing that wrong, the study discovered that regularly consuming a low carbohydrate, high fat diet was linked to increased LDL cholesterol levels and a greater risk of heart disease. All right. So carbohydrates are the body's first go-to source of fuel, providing energy for daily activities. Low carbohydrate, high fat diets such as a keto diet limit the consumption of carbohydrates such as baked goods, bread, rice, and other grains, pasta, potato products, which include chips and fries, and high carbohydrate vegetables and fruits. All right. So when the body is deprived of carbohydrate and instead breaks down fat for energy, the fat breakdown in the liver produces chemicals known as ketones that are used as energy by the body in the absence of carbohydrates. Hence, the term ketogenic or ketone producing. Ketogenic diet advocates normally suggesting restricting carbohydrates to 10% of total calories every day, protein to 20 to 30% of total calories every day, and getting 60 to 80% of calories from fat every day. So you can see there's a high fat intake there. Some prior studies have demonstrated that low carbohydrate, high fat diet can result in increased LDL cholesterol levels in some individuals. Although increased LDL cholesterol is an established heart disease risk factor as a result of cholesterol buildup in the coronary arteries, known as osteosclerosis, the effects of a low carbohydrate, high fat diet on stroke and heart disease risk haven't been well researched. All right, so for the study, researchers define a low carbohydrate, high fat diet is as composed of more than 45% of total calories from fat every day and no more than 25% of total calories from carbohydrates every day. They called this a low carbohydrate, high fat diet and keto-like because it's fairly lower in fat and higher in carbohydrates compared to a strict ketogenic diet. A standard diet was defined as persons not reaching these conditions with more balanced eating habits. All right, so I'm going to going up here and a little further. 305 individuals were identified with, using a questionnaire whose responses suggested that their diet throughout the 24-hour reporting period satisfied the study's definition of a low carbohydrate, high fat diet. These individuals were matched by sex and age, with 1,220 persons reporting consumption of a standard diet. 73% of the individuals in each group ended up being women, and the average age of 54 years old. Individuals on a low carbohydrate, high fat diet had a BMI of 27.7 on average. Individuals on a standard diet had a BMI of 26.7. A BMI of 25 to 30 falls inside the overweight range. All right, in comparison to individuals on a standard diet, individuals on a low carbohydrate, high fat diet had significantly higher LDL cholesterol levels, as well as the protein component called ApoB, all right, that sits on LDL particles. All right, prior studies have demonstrated that elevated ApoB could be a more appropriate predictor than increased LDL cholesterol for cardiovascular disease risk. After 11.8 years of follow-up on average, and after adjusting for other heart disease risk factors, which include smoking, obesity, high blood pressure, and diabetes, individuals on a low carbohydrate, high fat diet had over 2 times higher risk of having some major cardiovascular events, which include heart attack, perpetual arterial disease, stroke, and artery blockages that require to be opened with stenting treatments. All right, so overall, 9.8% of individuals on a low carbohydrate diet and high fat had a new cardiac event in comparison to 4.3% of individuals on a standard diet, twice the risk for individuals on a low carbohydrate, high fat diet. All right, so you see how that is. So if you're eating a lot of fat, okay, Glenn, you're blocking up, arteries and stuff. Again, strokes, heart attacks, so you can see that. So if you're increasing your fats by a lot, I mean, that can be bad. All right, so everybody's different. Okay, what gets me is by these online diets. Now, I've done this even for myself. So I played guinea pig. All right. As far as like some diets I've used for like cutting and things like that, when it comes to like competition diet. Okay. So I go to the extreme pretty much. All right. Any, competitive bodybuilder does. We go slightly to an extreme, but it's not sustainable. Okay. So I'll take, for me and my body type. All right. I have to cut more carbohydrates. To get more leaner. All right. Depending on the body type, and I've even spoke about this before, what type of body type are you? Look into that. Mesomorph, endomorph, ectomorph, all those play a good difference and helps you understand better basically for your dietary needs that you need. Say if you want to cut some weight. All right, everybody's different. Got some guys, of course, you've seen them, women too, can eat anything just about and stuff and never gain, an ounce of weight. But they're also what they call hard gainers when they're trying to gain muscle. Me, I haven't had that problem as far as like gaining muscle, but when it comes to like dieting down, I cut my carbohydrates pretty significantly. All right. So, which means like say if I'm watching my carbohydrates, and carbohydrates are in everything. All right. So if I'm watching my carbohydrates, okay, on a active day, as far as me moving around a bit, a good bit, exercise stuff. Now, if I'm on a cutting phase, I try to take in no more than 200 grams of carbohydrates in a day. Some of these carbohydrates, even some people's cutting down, I've even done it myself, it's like no more than 25 grams a day. That's tough. Okay. But anyways, and on an non-active day, say if I'm taking a rest day, I try not to do no more than 100 grams of carbs. Now I'll up my proteins. Now I'll up my fats a little bit, but I don't up my fats by a whole lot. I'm not trying to do the whole keto. Let me, load up a bunch of fats and stuff like that. Now you can use, and I've spoke about this before, using MCT oils, which is like a manufactured oil and stuff. But anyway, you can use MCT oils to help in between like meals and stuff, give you some of those fats. But again, I say, use caution. Also do your research, study, ask your doctor. If you got a doctor who's knowledgeable and stuff in like nutrition and stuff, talk with them about it, but also do your own research as well. Okay. So again, so I go back to mine, and so I'll up my proteins. All right, I go minimal carbohydrates, and I, up my fats a little bit. All right, I don't up my fats by a whole lot at all, really. Saying like I'm doing like avocado fats or something, fish oils, anything like that, I might throw in some MCTs. Usually my fats don't go that high. I just kind of up my protein higher to give me more satiated, feel and stuff. Now, usually sometimes I get fats or something. I may do a couple of, some tablespoons, something of peanut butter. I'm getting some saturated, some mono and polyunsaturated fats, and those do help satiate me there. But I'll do like throughout the day is, eating some nuts, almonds or something like that, but I'll eat a little bit, fats that way. So the best ways to understand is like eating a palm of protein, eating a fist, carbohydrates in this, a thumb, basically fats. Now, again, that you got to research and look at your body type, and it may tell you what, it'll help point out like what your goal is, and it'll tell you how much, say maybe eat 2 thumbs of fat, something like that. But anyway, I say again, research the body type, but also understand how, if you're on a keto diet, how that works. Okay. Anyway, I'm just throwing that out there to give you more knowledge. Okay. Just for information on educational purposes and what I like to do. I'm a geek when it comes to this stuff. I love doing the research, the science on supplementation, also in foods and things, because working out to me is easier than it is like the dieting. That's most of the questions when I'm in the gym is get approached by, as a trainer. A lot of people come to me about like, what's some of the best supplements to take? It could be I'll say simple things, say like supplements, what's the best diet? And then I have to find out, I ask them too, like what their background is. You can also do like a calculation, to find out just how many calories basically you need. Fitness Pal. My Fitness Pal is a great little app that's free. You can download that and you can set up your own profile. If that, It'll point out like your proteins, your fats, your carbohydrates and stuff, and it'll help you guide you along. And you can, take the time to like enter some of the foods. Now it also has a database in there. A lot of foods are already, stored in there, so you don't have to go in there and just putting everything in. So that's just using some patience. But once you kind of learn that, you get so much better of an understanding, to going forward. So if you don't always just say use that, pretty much you kind of got it mindful, about what you can have, what you can stay away from. So I ain't saying, you want to go out and eat for an event, a party or something. You want to kind of relax the diet and eat something you want, and that's fine. But what are you doing, those days prior up to that, whatever, leading up to it, and where you say, okay, well, I'm going to make sure I stay good with my diet. I'm going to eat well, but I'm going to eat clean, and this way I can relax here. There's nothing wrong with that. All right. So you just, again, that's just doing the moderation thing, and being responsible there. But again, this is all about taking care of you, taking care of your health, longevity, okay, the quality of life. And that's what I like to do. I like to point that out there for you. So anyway, I'm going to leave that right there. And also, if you have it, you can check out my podcast on Spotify, Missing Link Fitness LLC. Also, you can follow me on Facebook. I put a lot of different informational, educational resources on my Facebook page at Missing Link Fitness LLC. Also, check out my website at missinglinkfitnessllc.com. And until the next time, stay healthy.